I've never totted it up.
You never totted up?
Never ever. No, my dad believed that if you go racing, you just go racing, you don't tot it up. There's some people that put it on a spreadsheet, but...
Well, today we totted it up.
Yeah, we did. It wasn't nice. Quali was disappointing, massively disappointing. We knew that we had to get our heads together. We had to make, not a drastic change, nothing too daft, but an educated guess on, well, we needed to find what was it? A second and a half at least, wasn't it, really? What we decided to do in the end, thanks to Mike, is that we were going to raise the whole bike by 5 mil. We ended up raising the front of the bike 5 mil and the rear by 6. We weren't sure exactly what this were going to do, but it was going to definitely help. Things weren't going to make, it wasn't going to make things any worse.
It might have. Could have made it too unstable. You didn't know until you rode it.
Yeah, that's true.
But it had to be done.
But it had to be done. It was a must.
Coming down more.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Race 1. What was it all about? What was the race?
Well, we put a pair of tyres in.
Of course we put a pair of tyres.
Of course we put a pair of tyres in. We're at Thruxton. And I was just in race mode at this point. I didn't care about anything, just race mode. We needed to get into the points. That was the main goal. I had a goal in my head, a personal goal, but the team goal was into the points and we'll have had a decent day.
Talk about how you get to the grid.
I'll roll out on my outlap.
What's an outlap?
I don't know. How would you describe an outlap?
To get to the grid, you've got to do a lap.
You've got to come out of the pits, do a lap, and then you line up on your grid position when you come to the grid. I went to pretty much the first complex, so the turn 3. I could already tell that the bike was a million times different. I still didn't know if it was going to be better because we're not at race pace yet, but I knew it was different. So I actually had a smile on my face. I actually felt really good about this.
Everyone's there on the grid, aren't they?
Everyone's there on the grid. Everyone's there waiting to hear what I had to say. Was it better? Was it better? And I had a massive smile on my face. Said, yeah, it's definitely different. So we were like, right, let's go. We're good to go. It's all in my hands now. All down to you. The warm laps are... What are the warm laps actually for? The warm laps are a hindrance.
They are there.
Don't do a race start, but you do a pretty swift start. It's hustle and bustle. Nobody's being polite. And it's really just to see if anything's changed on the track, see if anyone's put anything down on their outlaps. Yeah, just to get your head into gear and check the conditions.
And then you come back, all line up, grid formation.
Yep, and then it's go time. Like someone's just pulled a pin. So the opening laps around this track, especially going into the first complex, absolute minefield. Everyone's knocking into each other. You've got your plans have just gone out the window. Nothing matters anymore. You just want to get straight through that pack and trying to get out of the way of any danger, I suppose. You don't want to get wiped out on the first lap.
You're on the right hand of the track, right?
I was on the right hand side of the track.
Good.
Yeah, it's not a bad position to be in. Sometimes you can get sandwiched into turn 1, but if you're on the inside at this track, you're on the outside for turn 2, but you're on the inside for the complex. Make sure that you don't get wiped out. That is from somebody coming steaming in from the rear. I've had it before where somebody's wiped me out on lap 1 and then everything's gone to waste. I was so happy with the bike.
So it was a good change.
Yeah, so it was definitely a positive change, and I didn't look down at my dash to see my lap time until about lap 4, because there's just so much going on. So settled down into it, lap 4, looked at my dash, 17.8, fastest time of the weekend by a long way.
You knocked another 0.6 off.
Yeah, 0.6. Unfortunately, the race got stopped early. One of the fastest turns on the track, somebody had a big high side. Not a nice one. So we rolled down the pits, and round this track, like we touched on before, it's so abrasive. Tyres are such a massive thing. And our Gerald called an absolute blinder.
He saved the day.
He did. Paul Gerald decided that we needed a spare rear tyre on warmers ready to go. It worked out perfect. I honestly could not believe that he called it. But we've had previous
Encounters here, haven't you?
yeah, previous encounters. Yeah, we definitely learned.
You learn from experience, don't you?
We learned a lesson. So it was going to be a restart. It was going to be a 5-lap restart. Some people didn't predict that it was going to be restarted, so some had to go out on a scrub. But we, I had Gerald save the day.
So what tyre number was this for the weekend?
Hang on a second. Set for what to do. Set for quality. Set for the race. So this is tyre number 5.
And it's only Saturday lunchtime.
And it's Saturday lunchtime, which is disgusting.
Let's get into the costs of what it costs to come here.
Yeah, so me and Mike a little earlier decided to break down the costs of racing, which I've never done before, and it made me pretty sad.
I've been totting them up, haven't I?
Yes, you have. We should definitely do a switch.
All right, switch. So?
Yeah.
So, you've got to get here, haven't you, Joe? How many miles did you drive to get here?
Roughly about 400 miles from Sheffield.
80 quid in an efficient car?
Yeah,
Yep,
not talking about
80 quid. And then you didn't tow the caravan here, so you stay in a hotel. How much are you charging? How much does it cost you for the hotel?
So that's £150 for 4 nights.
That's a cheap hotel.
It's not too bad.
So this running cost we're going to do, we're not going to do it about the build cost of the bike. Also things like awnings and vans to get bikes here. Some people even have a truck. It's purely just the weekend running costs. So should we do consumable bits on the bike?
Yeah, so let's start off with brake pads.
Yeah, so they're 250 quid a pair and you're doing a set every other weekend. So we'll say 125 quid.
Yeah, then you've got your 4 litres of engine oil.
Yeah, that's 70 quid, is about that normal for 4 litres nowadays.
Yeah, about a litre of brake fluid.
Yeah, 20 quid if you're using racing stuff.
And then you've got your chain and sprockets, obviously.
Probably doing what, 3 weekends out of chain sprockets?
Yeah,
depending on where and stuff. So that's what, like 60 quid?
Yep, and then obviously all this team you've got to feed.
Oh yeah.
So
They're a hungry bunch, aren't they?
They seem to be, yeah. I think just one day cost us £100.
100 quid. Was that beer bill though?
And that was not included in the beer bill.
Wow, phenomenal.
Yeah. So then you've got your fuel for the bike.
So the fuel's expensive. So it has to be a control fuel. Everyone runs on the same fuel. It's not better fuel than you get out of the pump, it's just consistent. That's why they go for a regulated fuel for the consistency, so there's no cheating. That's why they do it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But for that privilege, you pay over £4 a litre, right?
It's extortionate.
I think it's like £4.15 a litre.
I think that's what we worked it out at.
Yeah, so I think it's what, £270 a weekend in
bang
fuel?
on, yeah.
£270 a weekend in fuel.
Yeah. And then you've
got no choice, you have to run that fuel.
Yeah, and then you've got to pay to enter.
Yeah, entry fees. I was actually shocked at how little the entry fees were for British Superbikes. So what are you paying, just over 500 quid?
Yeah, 540 I think we worked it out.
Which sounds like a lot of money, but that is also for Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you go and do club racing, it's still the same money.
Yeah.
So if you're a club racer doing 12-lap races, it's the same money for it is to you come and do a British Championship, which I think is pretty cool.
It's really good.
It's good that it's in line with everything else, but there you go. Cool. Anything else?
Well, there's one thing that we didn't mention. Well, we have mentioned it quite a few times in the videos.
Tyres?
Yeah, let's touch on the tyres. In fact, let's go into the tyres.
Go for it. So,
round here, we run 6 sets of tyres that come in at £400 a set, roughly.
Yeah, so £2,400 a weekend in tyres.
Just in tyres.
And that's your full tyre allocation, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's bringing the total cost to £3,815.
£3,815. And that is just running costs. That's without you crashing.
Yeah.
No crash damage. That's not building your £30,000, £40,000 super sport bike. Yeah, that's just to get here. So what's that over a year? How many rounds are we doing?
We're doing 12 rounds.
Go on, quick maths. How much is that? He's getting his phone out. Well, it's £38,000 for 10.
Go on, you do
So then just add 4 onto that, take away a little bit. So that would be something like 45,500 quid. 45 grand.
Just in running costs.
Just running costs for the year.
That's without testing.
That is without testing. Yeah, that's no testing. Well, there's the air ambulance. Right, you need to take us through the second part of race 1.
Pit lane opens. It's a quick restart procedure. You get one member of your team to roll out into your grid position, to meet you when you do your out lap, and you line up on the grid, one warm-up lap, line back up, ready to go. When you've revved yourself up for something that much and then it gets stopped and you're in pit lane for 10 minutes, your body's just like, he doesn't want to go again. It's so hard to get G'd up.
What happened? How'd it go?
It did go really well. So we were running 12th for quite a bit of it. Then we dropped to 13th, and we had a fight for 13th, right up to the last lap, which was really enjoyable. Really enjoyed it a lot. Came across the line, 13th. So from this morning to this afternoon, such a difference, and we were back smiling again.
After the excitement of the first race, all bikes get held in parc fermé for about 20 minutes. Once they're released, it's back to the garage, get it jacked up and get it prepped for the morning warm-up. We put in a set of scrubs just so Joe can spin a few laps and get his head up to speed in the morning. There's no point in using new ones. It's always best to prep the bike the night before, even if you've got plenty of time in the morning, just in case something unexpected comes up. But that means Joe's got loads of time in the morning to warm up, have some food and then stretch out before he gets on the bike. And then it's time to roll out for morning warm-up. There's a couple of things Joe looks out for. First of all, he needs to check the bike is running right. It must be spot on before going into that race. And secondly, he needs to check the track conditions. There could be oil down in patches, or it could have changed in weather overnight, so he needs to scope out the track. Back in the awning, we bang in the final set of tyres for the weekend. This is the set Joe will complete the 18-lap feature race on. With very little else needed to be done after completing only 4 laps, the fuel tank is topped up, and then it's time for Joe to meet the team on the grid, ready for the feature race.
A long hard race ahead of us here, 18 laps. There's a lot of things to factor in. Our main goal.
Oh, that'll do. Thank you.
You can have your rum and coke if you want. Yeah, are you enjoying yourself?
Oh, I'll tell you what.
Good?
That's Captain Morgan's. That's good shit. That.
Oh, nice.
What a feature race. I'll be honest, it's a bit of a blur. There was so much going off, and it's probably one of the most enjoyable races I've had in a long time, if not ever.
That's a stunning bike, that the Hanikook's on his bed, it can really perform the building yourself circuit.
There was a good, well, how many? 7, 8 people in that battle?
Oh yeah, you're in a pack of about 7 or 8.
Yeah, pack of about 7 or 8, and
What happened from the start? First lap, what happened?
let's go from the start. Okay, I got a little bit of a bad start, and you could tell it was going to be a good race. Everybody was fierce. So straight into turn 1, bashing and barging going on. Into turn 2, a little bit more, people flying up the inside, running wide, coming to the first complex. I came together with a rider. It bust my Knox glove. That's somewhere. I don't know where that is, but that burst on lap 1.
Mention the crash.
Which crash?
There was a crash at lap 1.
Was there?
Yeah. It was yellow. It was a yellow sector.
I didn't even notice
You
it.
didn't
That's how much was going on.
Oh, there's a bike on fire.
Didn't see it.
Last turn, there was a bike on fire.
Didn't even see it.
Fair enough.
That's how. Maybe it was lap 2 then that I had the moment. There was just so much going on, but yeah, we had a pretty big moment, which I think maybe we'll be able to nick that off TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna nick it.
We'll throw that in now.
Number 10 is Joe Sheldon-shaw. So he'd gone too heavy in. And then this moment here, James, over the curbs.
What I thought was he might be getting it because he looked like he was,
He's a lucky boy there.
Oh, did he save it?
He does.
Oh.
He does.
Nearly went down in either the first or the second lap. Such a long race, everything blurs into one. But it was a constant every single lap.
You were behind Lee Johnson. You picked him off, didn't you?
Yeah, so Lee Johnson came past on the I think it was the second lap. We had to kind of save his tyre, but obviously keep with the leading pack if possible. So it's really difficult to do. But Lee came in front, and I thought, right, I'm going to sit behind Lee. He's a good rider, great rider, and I'm just going to let him pull us to the next group. I think we took about 2.5 seconds out of him, something like that. I was like, right, time to get in front of Lee. I've got more pace. So I think I went under Lee going into the last chicane where I had the moment earlier. I was really strong on the brakes into the last chicane, so I decided to do most of my overtaking there.
You were just in a mega battle, weren't you? Those
Yeah,
pack.
I couldn't even tell you because it was changing that often. But yeah, sat in the pack, just wanted to get a lap behind them, see what they were doing, and then we could start attacking. So every opportunity I got, attack, all the way through the race. And then with about 2 laps to go, I knocked my engine braking down because I felt like it was a little bit loose coming into the corner when the tyre went off. Turned the engine braking down, it's probably the worst thing that I could have done. I made a massive mistake. We'd just gone top Suzuki, just gone past Shane Richardson, went into the last chicane, first time with the engine braking turned down, and I just basically nearly went straight on.
Just ran on.
Took in the front, trying to stop the bike from going down, run really deep into the chicane, tried not to cut it because I did that last year on the stock thou and got a 10-second penalty. So we ended up 13th. Pretty solid result, to be fair, to say where we were in qualifying. Another good race, built on from yesterday. The bike was good, the team have put a massive effort into it, and we can move away from his worst track now and go to one of his best. So Cadwell Park, 2 weeks' time. Best track, favourite track, best one on the calendar, I think. So we'll see you there.